It's just about certain that Clinton will get the Democratic nomination, Trump the Republican nomination. Now the political spending will increase more, and most of the money will be spent on TV ads, although this year you have to wonder, why do they bother? Because in the Republican primary, Donald Trump's opponent spent a ton on anti-Trump ads like this one.
Why does Trump support amnesty? Maybe because Trump makes big money off illegal immigrants and his new hotel in Washington.
The Washington Post interviewed about 15 laborers at the D.C. hotel site, reporting that many revealed they had entered the U.S. illegally.
Amnesty for illegal immigrants. Big money for himself. Can conservatives trust Donald Trump?
I would think not, but best I can tell, the ads made no difference. PACs supporting Trump's opponents kept running them, and Trump supporters got even more passionate. So what's going on? Well, Guy Benson and Jedediah Bila are political junkies who follow campaigns closely, so I don't have to. What happened this year? It's just different.
What I've been saying for a really long time is no matter how much money you put into something, campaign ads in particular, people are still watching the candidate. They have to be inspired by you, and no amount of money or ad is going to dissuade people if that person inspires them and the rest of the field does not.
And what's different about this cycle is that you'd be hard-pressed to find a Donald Trump ad that really ran with any money behind it. He has eschewed this entire traditional process and instead flooded the airwaves and attracted this saturation coverage, $2 billion worth, according to one study. Where
for
he's
free, just
for
being
free.
himself.
For just being himself and showing up and calling into every show that will have him. Yeah. And it's been really interesting to watch. The average politician could never, ever get away with that.
Well, that's what's happened so far. Now that the election is down to Trump versus Hillary, the left is marshaling its attacks on Trump. One of the themes they're hot on at the moment is Trump disrespecting women.
Does she have a good body? No. Does she have a fat? Absolutely. You like girls that are 5'1", they come up to you know where.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Ooh. That's a new ad from a Hillary super PAC. The general electorate will care. It's going to be now it's finally going to work?
I think it might. I think in a general election, he needs that female vote. And I think the fact that it's coming from a female candidate and calling attention to the fact that he's made these comments about women, which has been no secret to anyone. If you look at his Twitter feed and anyone's been paying attention, there's truth behind it. So this is the kind of ad that I think works because there is some truth in terms of his own statements that people can say, wait a minute, this is what he represents, and draw those conclusions. I think it might be effective.
They've been planting the seeds for these attacks for a long time. I think Hillary's going to pound and pound and pound away at it.
And the odds at electionbiddingodds.com do show Hillary is a big favorite in the general election.
For now.
For now. Well, that's true.
She's
They've
bad.
changed.
She's really bad.
Donald Trump calls it radical Islamic terrorism. That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off ISIS and take their oil. And he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for.
So, straightforward, simple ad, sticking to his guns.
And I think the genius of the ad is if you go back and look how much money was poured into that ad, it was minuscule. The point of the ad was to reinforce his messaging, and every single show on broadcast and cable and radio ran the ad for free over and over again, and it had people like us on panels to stroke our chins and say, well, what does he mean by till we know what's going on about the Muslim problem, or whatever the term that he uses is. That has been the inimitable genius of the Trump campaign this cycle.
Here's one anti-Trump ad that I found so weird and ugly that I thought it might be something from a pro-Trump group trying to make Trump supporters so angry that they would show up to vote. So let's watch it.
You keep calling me anchor, baby?
Wow, racist.
Millions of working Latinos would be deported.
If you get your local way, you're all going to have to come from me.
If you try to deport my abuelita, mother, this is my home.
You can't take my rights away.
That's from a group called Deport Racism. It says its goal is to fight racism, but
yeah, that rubs me the wrong way. I don't know anyone that likes watching children use vulgarity like that.
These are children reading scripted lines written by adults. For them to come out and it's like, all right, Johnny, let's take that again. If you can just say this curse word a little bit more angrily. It is so distasteful.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's beaten all those career politicians, and he doesn't even run TV ads. Actually, he has run a few. Most Trump ads are short, cheaply produced ones like this. Why was Hillary barking, and is that a good ad? Well, the man who Bloomberg News Service says invented the Republican internet says Trump's strategy is the way of the future. He's Vincent Harris. What do you mean, way of the future?
Well, I think that Donald Trump's campaign gets better than any other campaign in the history of American politics, today's fragmented media environment. Voters are consuming news and information not just by watching TV, but they go home after work and they're watching TV, that's screen 1, they have their laptop in their lap, screen 2, and they got their phone in their hand, that's screen 3. And he really understands that screen 2 and screen 3 are places he needs to reach voters. And that ad that we just saw was a wonderful example of that. That ad is the exact type of ad that people are going to share, and my friends on Facebook are going to pass along, and I'm going to see it.
Vincent created different kinds of ads for a candidate who flopped, but who should have won, Senator Rand Paul. You put out this ad showing Paul setting the tax code on fire, putting the tax code through a wood chipper. This, too, was different from normal political ads.
A few things I enjoy more than on weekends cooking breakfast with the family. Of course, in Texas, we cook bacon a little differently than most folks.
Machine gun bacon? Yes, crews actually wrapped bacon around an AR-15's muzzle and then cooked the bacon by shooting the gun. Then he ate the bacon.
Machine gun bacon.
I just think he seems weird. This is effective?
Yes, in terms of getting reach when voters can just simply click stop on an ad online. So I think he really understands by producing that ad that if an ad's not entertaining, a voter's simply not going to watch it.
And Donald Trump certainly gets that, and he saved himself so much money running a new kind of campaign using the newest technologies, Instagram, Twitter. He sends out all these nasty tweets. Listen to Carly Fiorina more than 10 minutes, you develop a massive headache. To complain about Mexico, he said, we get the killers, drugs, and crime. They get the money. Doesn't cost him anything, and this too goes viral.
Donald Trump has 8 million followers on Twitter, which is a larger audience than most television networks. And there was a recent study done by political scientists Zenos and Becker, which showed that entertainment media can even prime voters to believe something that a candidate is going to say later down the line. He gets this, and that's why he's won this primary.